Hey Channel Insiders, welcome back for another episode of Channel Insider Partner POV, your source for untapped opportunities and unfiltered opinions in the IT channel, all to help you make better business decisions. I'm your host, Katie Bavoso. My guest today is Jabari Norton, Executive Revenue Leader at Archera, a company that only went to market last year in 2023, but is already driving innovation by making cloud consumption cheaper and less of a risky commitment for businesses than it traditionally can be. Welcome, Jabari.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited about this because you have been in this space for a very long time. You're a 9-time startup executive. So can you first of all tell me what makes somebody this serial startup focused person? What makes you want to be a part of that energy and those new businesses, and why Archera for you?
This is my ninth startup, so 25 years in the making on this, and didn't really kind of jump into it thinking I would do it 9 different times. But I think it's really being able to be involved with, I think, a couple things. One is being involved with really innovative and unique people that are kind of all rallying around a purpose and a cause. So I think that's one. I think two is kind of bringing net new technology to the market. I mean, the market's ripe for disruption and innovation in a lot of different areas, and I've looked to companies both in the big data space, in the security space, and now really kind of building a new category around commitment insurance and really around optimization and what customers can do there. And then, I think the third is just, having an opportunity to be a part of a big outcome, continue to grow, scale an organization and do that. And so I get a lot of excitement out of it. It does get tiring at times, but it's a lot of fun. And what really brought me here about Archera, which is really, I love, one is the founding team and the team that's here. They've taken a concept around cloud commitments, which is really, for a lot of organizations in their top 5 spend, and really creating a novel approach to how they actually go about, not only helping customers with how they can reduce their cost, but also enable them to grow. Like most of our customers grow by about 60%, in the first 90 days after we onboard, and allows them to kind of consume the cloud in a much bigger, more meaningful way, but with less risk, is really what brought me here.
Tell me, what is Archera?
Yeah, I mean, so the way I describe Archera is really a cloud commitment insurance solution that we provide. I mean, the bones and underneath that really is around our free SaaS platform that we have that's truly remarkably free. I explain that to a lot of folks where people can actually plan, manage all of their commitments, actually purchase native commitments through our platform completely free. There's no cost, there's no tax on top of that. But really what that unlocks is a unique set of capabilities that we have around our short-term discounts that provide, extremely aggressive, strong savings for customers, but allows them to really reduce the risk and fill the gaps that customers have in between kind of what they can get from their cloud provider as far as commitment lengths and time, allowing them to commit to more time with these providers. But also what we do is we've reduced that risk time on that with our insurance product.
Jabari, I've heard you mention insurance a few times, commitment insurance. Can we talk more about that?
What our insurance and our guarantee provides is really puts the customers in control of what they purchase, how that's insured, and then how do they manage that going forward. And it has a broad set of appeal, so it can go across any commitment type, not just ones that have a secondary market or other types of things. And it can go broadly, as I talked about, across other services like database services as well as compute services. What's really different and unique about this, what's existed in the market, especially on AWS, has been this concept of RI arbitrage, where customers will buy in, either providers or ISVs will buy, reserved instances or, large scale instances at a discount, buying those in bulk and then providing those to various different companies. This is not that at all. This is truly the ability to guarantee, drive longer commitments directly with the customers and provide them that sense of insurance that they would actually have. And we guarantee that after the period of time that they, either 30 days or 1 year, that we will provide, a cash rebate back to the customer, or we'll take that out of their account. So it's truly innovative and different because they can now commit with confidence.
So tell me how that works. What does it look like when you're typically going for a commitment to this cloud spend compared to what you work with when you come to Archera? What's the difference?
Yeah, so the way that in which, if you kind of think of a typical cloud provider, so maybe we'll take Amazon as a start, is the most flexible way to start is you start with kind of on demand. It's the most flexible. You're kind of just paying as you go. But as you start to think about discounts and where the discounts come in, there's essentially kind of three ways in which you get discounts. One is you have to commit to your first stair step as a year. You can use RIs, reserved instances or savings plans for that. And the next commitment jump is to 3 years, right? And in a lot of cases, those jumps can be big. You have to understand kind of your usage and how you're actually doing that. And there's really nothing in between. So the way to think about our chair is we fill in the gaps for that. So our first instrument that we actually have around that is our 30-day guaranteed reserved instance. And that allows a customer to come onto the platform, once again, for free. But by using our 30-day GRIs, they only have to hold it for 30 days versus the first commitment from an AWS standpoint of a year. That actually provides strong savings equal to, if not better in some cases, for the 1 year equivalent from AWS, but provides kind of the reduction of risk for these companies to do that as they scale and move forward.
You mentioned it reduces risk, and you talk about how the cloud providers like that. But can you dig into that a little bit more for me of why they're so supportive of a framework like this?
And these cloud providers are customer obsessed, right? And what they're always looking to do is, can I help customers, better optimize or better utilize the cloud? Where we focus on is everything that's non-infrastructure impacting. And so we focus on managing their commitments, purchasing and managing, any of the commitments that they have on the cloud, as well as helping them negotiate kind of enterprise terms and credits with their cloud providers. So all we're focused on is the commitment side of that. And what that then unlocks is if a customer is generally kind of averse or not willing to commit to, say 3 years or even 1 year, but they may be, willing to commit to a shorter term, we can provide that insurance. Underneath that, from a commitment standpoint, the customer executes a long-term commitment to the cloud provider of 3 years, but at any point after their hold period with our solution, they can then sell that back to us. And we provide that as either as a rebate, so they can commit to that longer term, knowing that they have our backing, that after a shorter period of time, that if they need to re-platform or use another solution, that they have that confidence in us as a provider behind them, that they can then sell that back and then pivot as needed.
I can see that being really attractive to a new business or a startup themselves, because I'm sure that they're always considering their cost and their budget every year, and this is probably something very attractive to them. But why don't you tell me, who are your customers? What verticals do they typically touch? What do they typically do?
Yeah, so our customers range in size and range in industries that we have. So we work with, some smaller, younger startups in the generative AI space or AI ML space, where they're trying to get access to certain, new GPU instances or just ramping up, their SaaS applications or other applications. We also work with more mature organizations, but some organizations who may have legacy infrastructure that's sitting in a data center, and they're working on migrations, and they leverage Archera on the front end to help them as they're planning for their migrations along on that side. And then we also work with some of the cloud providers' largest, most complex customers on the planet that have very strong, FinOps teams and operational teams that manage their spend, but they have spend that's on the edges is kind of what we kind of think about that doesn't fit nice and neatly either into their enterprise commitment or with their reserved instance strategy, where they can use Archera's insurance still counting towards their enterprise commitment, but they'll still driving savings. We have found some industries that have kind of picked this up, early. I talked about a little bit early folks in the Gen AI ML space. We also see a lot of fintech and health tech organizations, a lot of ISVs, organizations that we're starting to see, but it does have broad appeal. It is not limited to any vertical that a customer would have. And so we're seeing, it starting to get more widely adopted across various different industries as well.
And I should also ask, which cloud providers, hyperscalers are we talking about specifically? Does it range across the gamut of them, or is there some specific ones that you partner with to be able to make this happen?
Yeah, our go-to-market partnership is heavily reliant with AWS. We will be expanding capabilities for Archera to support future clouds, but even the founders of the company and many of our early engineers actually came from AWS, and so we have a lot of that ethos within the organization. But our go-to-market is heavily around AWS. We work very closely with both the partner teams and the direct account teams as part of our go-to-market motion.
Talk to me about what it's like to partner with a hyperscaler like AWS. I mean, I say the word and immediately get chills just because it's so ubiquitous across the channel and across IT and tech in general. What is it like to partner with them, and how do they support you to differentiate in this space?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I've been working with AWS now for 15 plus years, so it really helps to know a lot of the folks and the lingos and the programs. But AWS is the lifeblood of what we do. They've been phenomenal to partner with, and they're really customer obsessed and really helping, both optimize lower costs and drive better efficiencies and more cloud usage for our customers. So our engagement with the account teams, the partner teams have been fantastic. We work with them, have them understand our value prop, and then they find the customers that say, okay, this is a customer who has this problem. They're looking, to better cost optimize or get a better control over their commitments, and then they bring in Archera as far as that. So our number one partner is AWS, and we continue to see that in the foreseeable future.
For those who are just learning about Archera today, listening or watching this interview, where should they start to bring you into the conversation? What questions should they be asking themselves and their teams to say, is this the right tool for us? Is this the right platform to go towards? And then when should they come to you?
Really, anybody who is expressed an interest in cost optimization, right? We actually have what I talked about as our free platform, and we actually provide a free savings analysis. So it takes about 5 minutes to onboard to the platform, so relatively easy and quick from that. And then within 24 hours, we can actually provide them a full analysis of their infrastructure and their environment and determine what savings we can provide. There's also a number of where we work with some of the startup companies is, as you come onto the cloud providers, sometimes they'll start you off with credits. And so customers are using credits. Sometimes they start to run out of those credits, and then they start to have to kind of pay their own bill in their own way. We can really help customers as they kind of move from that migration process off of credits onto their direct paying is where we also help them. We also help customers as part of that who are migrating on. So they're looking to right size, re-platform, et cetera. And so as they're figuring out exactly what those workloads are going to look like and how they're going to manage those, we can help them with short-term alternatives that gives them the opportunity to save right away. And then as they figure out their long-term strategy. We also talked about customers who are, in some respects, that are larger, more mature, who are either preparing for their first EDP or PPA, which are these enterprise agreements, or looking to renew it or expand into a net new one. And so they can pre-plan, they can forecast with our platform and with all of our planning tools around EDP and PPA planning, where they can look at both tops down and bottoms up and historical spend of what they should be doing as they plan out, a multi-year commitment with their cloud provider. So there's lots of different opportunities and to bring us in. We do also get a fair amount of Gen AI and AI and ML customers who are really looking at their GPU workloads and or in some cases like retail where they have like seasonal spikes and stuff like that from an e-commerce standpoint. And our shorter term alternatives can really help really bridge the gap there for some of those, for cost optimization for things that they want to do where they may need the instance or the solution for less than a year.
So I would love to be able to talk about some benchmarks and really kind of put a face to a name here when we're talking about your success stories. Is there potentially a success story with a client you can share with me?
I can't share the name per se, but I think I can talk about the story. This is a very large software company that's out there. It was actually recently acquired by another large organization around there. But they're one of the most mature large software ISVs in the world. And one of the things that they looked at for us and that really kind of inspired them and why they're one of our largest customers is they really saw the opportunity to leverage our short-term commitments to really reduce their on-demand costs. in particular for them, they had, transitory kind of database instances where, they couldn't, lock those in for either 1 or 3 year periods of time. And so that's really where, Archera came in with our shorter term options for them to leverage that. And that's really one of the other benefits of Archera is we don't just focus on the compute part of the cloud provider's infrastructure. We support all compute-based services that are reservable, but also things like databases, RDS or Redshift and things like that. And that really opens up more opportunities for savings, but was really the key benefit for this. And what we're able to do is work with them and their teams and built out some custom plans with them within a very short amount of time. I think it was about 2 days or so that we're able to build out kind of the plan that was right for them. And then they were able to continue to grow around that. And so we were able to do with those shorter term options without them being locked in, especially based on these workloads, and have provided significant amount of savings for them over the term and the life of them as a customer.
Wow. So definitely quite a success there. 2 days as far as being able to break that out. That is honestly customer service right there.
It's very with the fact that we can onboard in 5 minutes and that we have a savings analysis within 24 hours, you can action savings so quickly, and that was to the tunes of hundreds of thousands of dollars of savings we were able to provide in a very short amount of time.
Not only do you provide Archera, which can be built for MSPs, for VARs and distributors, but you also have a partner program that you're building right now. So talk to me about who you're looking for in terms of partners, who should be interested, and why they should come over and partner with Archera.
Yeah, so we are building this out, and we're building out quite rapidly. We actually have, I guess, two big swim lanes that we're actually working with partners on. So one is our referral tier. It's our most streamlined, so it's really best for a lot of our ISVs that we're actually working with, where we can actually, refer back and forth customers, kind of like-minded partners where we don't overlap, et cetera, where customers are looking to either further reduce cost or work with other service providers in the space or ISVs in the space. So we have a referral program. We're going to be launching a little bit later on in the year, a catalog and a marketplace around this to really make it easy to surface third-party solutions as part of Archera, and to be able to, provide those referrals and then for those partners to refer folks in. Where our major focus is right now is really around our co-sell partners. And this is really focused on our, CSPs, MSPs, consultants, GSIs, et cetera. And so really any partner who has a cloud practice, if you think about kind of the tierings within AWS, there's kind of select, advanced, and premier. We're working with a lot of advanced and premier partners, but also with a few select partners as well, who are looking to kind of build out to either enhance and add another tool in their tool belt if they have a FinOps solution or a kind of CCOE in a box type solution, and or customers who are looking to have net new conversations.
Well, if I'm both a potential partner and I want to find out more, or if I'm a potential customer and I want to find out more about Archera, where can I go and who can I reach out to?
Yeah, I would just go to archera.ai. It's got a great amount of resources for customers and folks to kind of go to. We're happy to book, and there's a lot of different places to kind of book for like a 15-minute online meeting, to kind of walk through the value prop, et cetera. But, we're very much eager to add to our customer base of nearly 500 customers today, and we talked about our growth potential. So we're looking to continue to, grow and expand and both bring on net new partners, but also kind of really continue to be customer obsessed and focus on the growth that we have and continue to kind of work hand in hand with AWS as we continue to expand.
Thanks so much to my guest Jabari for joining me today, and thank you for watching or listening to this episode of Channel Insider Partner POV. If you want to watch more episodes, you can head on over to channelinsider.com or our YouTube page at channelinsider_news and trends. You can also listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow wherever possible so you never miss an episode. We put out a new video and podcast every week. If you've got a question, or maybe you want to be on the show, you can email me at partnerpov@channelinsider.com. Once again, I'm Katie Bavoso, and I'll see you next time.